Welcome to TV20 Classic Sports. I'm your host, Christian Patterson. From all-star matchups to championship games, we've reached into the vault to bring back a part of Cleveland history. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of TV20 Classic Sports.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second game of today's championship game. In the bantamweight division, we have the Eastern Conference champion, East 97th Street Bulldogs, in the white, against the Western Conference champions, the Cleveland Warriors, in the red. And now introducing the Western Conference champions, the Cleveland Warriors. Number 1, Michael Wynn. Number 3, Gregory Morrow. Number 5, Raymond Robinson. Number 7, William Battle. Number 13, James Harris III. Number 20, James Barganer. Number 22, Damian Smith Russell. Number 27, Amir Salim. Number 29, Raymond Hinton. Number 33, Anthony Reed. Number 34, Brandon Towns. Number 40, Jonathan Harrell. Number 44, Carl Davis. Number 45, Kevin Graham. Number 50, Jovali Dizzard. Number 55, Eugene Sankey. Number 56, Jason Holloman. Number 58, Fred Peters. Number 59, Kevin Edward Evans. Number 60, Steve Cargill. Number 62, Jaron Smith. Number 67, Nigel Thorington. Number 78, Michael Dennis. Number 80, Naeem Salim. Number 88, William Stewart. Number 93, Anthony Brown. Number 98, Jerome Acey. The Cleveland Warriors head coach, Mr. Wilbert Brooks, and his assistants. And now, the Eastern Conference champion, East 97th Street Bulldogs. Number 16, Charles Spikes. Number 17, A. Pruitt. Number 23, Preston Pennyman. Number 25, Wendell Shockley. Number 29, David Fortson. Number 30, Jamel Gordon. Number 31, Khalid Tutt. Number 33, George Freeman. Number 34, Darnell Hill. Number 36, Jermaine Johnson. Number 37, Demetrius Hampton. Number 38, Robert Swift. Number 52, Wendell Cox. Number 54, Tony Mills. Number 57, Walter Spikes. Number 70, Julian Benz. Number 72, David Morgan. Number 87, Gregory Dixon. Number 90, Michael Jackson. And number 99, Kenneth Butler. East 97th Street Bulldogs are coached by head coach Donald Patterson and his assistants.
All right, getting ready for the Bantamweight Championship game between the East 97th Street Bulldogs and the Cleveland Warriors. The Bulldogs come into this game with a 7-1. Their loss came at the first game of the season, and for the Cleveland Warriors, they are 7-0 with one tie. And these are two teams that you look at offense and defense. They are up there in the statistics and rankings. The number 1 defense of the Bulldogs against the number 4 offense of the Warriors in this contest. And you look on the other way, the Bulldogs have the number 2 in offense in the area against the number 3 defense against the Cleveland Warriors, giving up 14 points. And one thing for the Bulldogs, they must win the possession time on offense. They need to really hang on to the football in this contest. But for the Warriors, they need to be strong with their fundamentals, and they must execute block and tackle in this game. And we'll see more running in this game like we saw in the Pee Wee contest.
Absolutely. And one of the key factors here in the bantamweight that we will be talking about is we talk about the defenses, but they're very close, as you mentioned, Adam. 1-3, 2 points really separate them throughout the season, so they're basically even. There will be kickoffs in this division, 9-minute quarters. Also, there's a mandatory play rule in this division. So this was the first year that we tried it as far as making sure that all the kids get the opportunity to play. And both coaches, I talked to them about their feelings of the mandatory play, and they were both very well upbeat. Said it's a good rule, it's worked out well. They feel that a lot of kids need that self-esteem to be part of a team, and you don't do it if you don't get out there and get some experience playing.
Well, Coach Wilbert Brooks of the Warriors, one of his concerns into this ball game is that he doesn't want to have to come from behind. They need to get the lead early on, but for Coach Donald Patterson, his concern in this ball game, turnovers and penalties. The fewer the turnovers, the fewer the penalties. He believes that it will be the key for his team's success in this championship contest. And when you talk turnovers and this muddy field with all the rain that we've had, we could see quite a number of them in this contest, Tim.
Absolutely, and we talk about turnovers. We talk about, both of them did agree, as you mentioned, on mental mistakes. Hey, we can't have the penalties. We got to stay focused. Both coaches agreed. Simon said today, this is a key factor. We look at the quarterbacks. For the Bulldogs, it'll be number 16, Charlie Spikes. He's thrown 8 touchdown passes. On the other hand, it's been Michael Wynn. He's thrown 4 touchdowns, but he's shown the ability to throw deep, over 40 yards. All 4 touchdowns were big strikes for the Warriors. But basically the Warriors' philosophy is, hey, listen, our defense is the strength of this team. We're going to keep the game close. Both of them like the low-scoring game, and I think they're going to get it here today. And
I think one other thing that we have to look at in this contest is the play of the offensive and defensive lines. That offensive line of the Warriors led by Quincy Porter taking on the defensive line of the Bulldogs led by Darnell Hill. That center nose guard matchup will be a tough one in this contest, as we're just about set. Both teams back to their respective sidelines and getting last second instructions as we get ready for this Bantamweight Championship game here at Rhodes High School. It's been a rainy day. There you can see the little river on the track here at Rhodes High School. That's how much rain has fallen throughout the day, and some of the players trying to get the hands warm and dry in this contest, because the dry hands will be of essential necessity in this game if you want to hang on to the football whatsoever. Both teams are on the field. The referees are getting set, and there you see the Cleveland Warriors. They will be dressed in red, kind of like the Ohio State Buckeyes, and the Cleveland Warriors, or the Bulldogs, will be in white, similar to the uniforms of the Razorbacks of Arkansas.
Well, as we look at the Warriors take the field here, Adam, just before kickoff, this could be a very special day for the Cleveland Warriors. We want to take this time to congratulate the Midget League champions. We didn't see them here today on the tube, but they won their championship in the Midget Division in triple overtime by a score of 13-7 over Sims Raiders. So the Cleveland Warriors will go for championship number 2 in the Muni Football League today.
And as we get ready to start this ball game, the Bulldogs of the East 97th Street Bulldogs will be kicking off to start the game, and back to receive will be number 27 for the Cleveland Warriors. And for the Warriors, number 27, that's Amir Salim. So he is the deep man standing at his 20-yard line. Also back there will be Michael Wynn and number 20, James Barganer. Getting ready to kick off the football for the Bulldogs is number 90, and that is Michael Jackson. Referees are set. Both teams are set. We're set. And we hope you're set also, as we're just about set for this Bantamweight Championship game here at Rhodes High School. Probably the kicker's trying to look for a dry spot on the field so he can tee it up and not fall down after the kick. As the tee is now run out to the referee. Probably the only piece of equipment out here today that's not wet.
You know, he mentioned about the two coaches, something in common. Both of them are graduates of Glenville High School. Also the same school that Mayor Michael R. White graduated from.
Well, Michael Jackson has the ball teed up at the 40-yard line. He's ready to go, and this game is underway as he approaches the football. It is going to be a short kick taken by number 44. That is Carl Davis on the right side at the midfield stripe, breaks the tackle, and into the Bulldog territory at about the 49-yard line. That is where the Bulldogs, or where the Warriors will get the football and start off on offense. And for the Warriors, they'll have Michael Wynn as their quarterback, Naeem Salim as one of the wide receivers, along with Eugene Sankey. Front line, Jason Holloman, Steve Cargile, Quincy Porter, Joe Dizzard, and Fred Peters. In the backfield, Jonathan Harrell, James Barganer, and Anthony Reed. The defense for the Bulldogs, they go with a 5-2 defense. David Morgan, Gregory Dixon, Darnell Hill, Wendell Cox, and Khalid Tunt. That's the front five. Spikes and Butler are the linebackers. We'll get the defensive backs after this first play. They'll go with a full house backfield. 3 in the backfield, kind of like the wishbone offense. They hand it off to the second man through. That is number 20. Barganer goes right side and stopped at the line of scrimmage. And the clean white uniforms of the Bulldogs will become very brown and dirty today as Gregory Dixon makes the stop for the Bulldogs.
Again, when we talked to the coach from the Bulldogs, he had a lot of praise for Gregory Dixon. He said he's probably one of the best defensive tackles in the league. And the Bulldogs' strength, as well as the Warriors, is the defense.
Anthony Reed checks into the ball game. James Barganer comes out. Double tight end formation for the Warriors. 3 in the backfield. Michael Wynn, the quarterback. Handoff, second man through. And that looks like Anthony Johnson getting the football. And he is stopped by number 99. That is
Kenny Butler.
Okay.
Again, Kenny Butler is a Browns fan. Also, Junior Seau, favorite player from the San Diego Chargers.
Barganer is split to the near side. Now they'll have him in the backfield along with Anthony Reed. Now going with 2. It's a split backfield on a 3rd and 7. Michael Wynn, the quarterback, hands it off, second man through. That is Barganer. Barganer gets over the 45 to about the 44, and it'll be about 4 yards, make it 5 yards short of the first down on a 4th down. 4th and 5 for the Warriors.
Looked like Jermaine Johnson, formerly nicknamed Satch, came up with the big play. Again, we talked about 8th grader out of Thomas Jefferson came up, good tackle.
Ball will be put to the near side hash mark. There you see Jonathan Harrell and Michael Wynn coming up to the line of scrimmage. Wynn at 6 foot, 143 pounds. Under center. Fakes handoff, goes with an end around to number 22. And he gets out to the 40-yard line. That was Damian Smith-Russell, brought down by Robert Swift. Little end around. And it's good enough for the first down, so a big pickup of 5 yards by the receiver, Damian Smith-Russell. There you see the huddle for this Warrior team. And a team that has scored 143 points, 40% of their points off the pass. Michael Wynn, who's tossed 4 touchdowns, over 40 yards this year, he's going to be the key back. 3 in the backfield for the Warriors. Handoff to number 44. That is Carl Davis to the near side at the 30. 30-yard line, brought down by Robert Swift.
And you notice here early in the ball game, Adam, we've been calling Robert Swift, Kenny Butler, Jermaine Johnson. You're talking free safety, cornerback, and a linebacker, which is a signal to us early. One of the keys that the coaches talked about, who can win the line of scrimmage. The Cleveland Warriors have right now decided that they're going to take control of this line of scrimmage, and early in the ball game, the edge goes to the Warriors on the offensive line.
Carl Davis is the player that's down on the sidelines as the
We got it. Hang on. You got
we'll look at that
Stay right
replay
there.
once again on the play when Carl Davis was given the handoff.
You okay? Yeah, I'm cool. Stay, you out. Yeah.
Well, we hear he's cool, but let's see what caused it. Again, a good tackle here, and it looks like the tackle here by the knee, they came down on it, but it looks like he's going to be okay.
It looks like he just fell when he was falling down. He was trying to break the fall with his arm and may have jammed his shoulder on that play, so he'll have to sit out a play. 2nd down and 2 for the Warriors. They started this drive at about the 49-yard line after the kickoff, opening kickoff. In the backfield, they'll have Barganer along with Jonathan Harrell and Anthony Reed, 3 in the backfield. And the second man through, that's Anthony Reed. He breaks the tackle down to the 20-yard line, a pickup of the first down and then some. As that left side of the line, Cargyle and Holloman making the opening hole. And on the stop is number 36, Jermaine Johnson.
And again, Jermaine, free safety, came up to make the stop.
Harold Barganer and Anthony Reed, full house backfield. Double tight end. And that's Barganer left side, right up the middle. Gets over the 20-yard line, about a pickup of 2 yards. Walter Spikes making the stop.
Again, that time when the Bulldogs did is they brought up a 6-man line, so they actually went to a 6-2. And what they're trying to do is they're coming up here to stop the run. The run has been a concern of the Bulldogs here early in the first quarter because the Cleveland Warriors have controlled the football.
Pickup of 1 on the run. Number 80, that'll be Naeem Salim, will be split to the near side, very tight, and we're going to have movement at the line, and looks like the Bulldogs jumped off sides. That'll be a dead ball foul, encroachment against the defense, so that'll push them up 5, and we'll give a 2nd down and about 4 yards as they replay the down.
Well, we talked about keys to the game, controlling the line of scrimmage and penalties. Right now, it's been all Cleveland Warriors the first 5 minutes of this game.
2nd and 3 at the 15. The Warriors have the football. Split backfield, double wing back, and the quarterback, Wynn, will keep it and probably gain about a yard after he mishandled the snap from center. And on the stop is Walter Spikes.
Again, Walter is number 57 from the Bulldogs. Honor roll student over at Lincoln Junior.
3rd down and 3. Cold, windy, rainy day here at Rhodes High School. Split to the near side is Raymond Robinson. In the backfield in an I formation is Barganer and Harrell. Split into the right. Inside handoff, first man through. That's Barganer. Barganer, or make that Harrell. And Harrell gets over the 10-yard line, and he should have the first down. And on the stop, Walter Spikes once again. Close to the first down, and are they going to say he has it? Yes. So it'll be 1st and goal to go at the 10. There's a nice drive being put on by this Warrior team. Split to the near side is Salim. Full house backfield. Harold Barganer and Reed, and we got movement once again, and that time you got to give Michael Wynn a lot of credit because I think he is drawing the Bulldogs off sides, and that'll put them 5 yards ahead, and 1st and goal at the 5-yard line.
Well, we'll take a look at it here. Again, you can see actually it's all done with voice, no movement. The Bulldogs jumped off sides. It's Gregory Dixon, number 87. One of the concerns of Coach Patterson. We cannot afford to jump off sides and do the little things wrong. Mentally, we have to be tough.
And Coach Patterson, not liking what he sees, calls timeout. With 1:55 to go first quarter, the Warriors knocking on the door with a first down and goal to go at the 5-yard line. A very good drive starting at the 49-yard line, and really going with the run and some penalties by this Bulldog team has helped the Warriors.
Well, you're looking at the Bulldogs. The Don Patterson is the coach. He's in the huddle right now. That's Keith Austin, who's really the defensive coordinator for the Bulldogs. Again, they've won the midget title in 1993 under Don Patterson and lost in 92. On the other side, the Cleveland Warriors. You're looking right there at the offensive coordinator, Pete Cranford. Works for the city of Cleveland, another volunteer that comes out after work, give back to his community. And they won the title here in 1992 in this division.
First and goal. Ball spotted at the 5-yard line. I formation for the Warriors. The quarterback, Michael Wynn. Handoff is to number 20. That is Barganer. Barganer right side, barrels through to the 4, possibly to the 3-yard line before he's brought down by David Morgan.
And I'm sure when Keith Austin went out, he said, listen, the defensive line, we're getting knocked off the ball. We need to get in there and penetrate. We've got to toughen up. Your second down and goal, as you had mentioned, this here is a big play for them.
Absolutely, especially when you get a gift with that 5-yard penalty by the Bulldogs. Salim is split to the near side. They'll have Davis on the right. Backs are in an I formation. Fumble snap, and it's going to be taken by the Bulldogs, who come up with a big fumble recovery. That is number 97, Gregory Dixon. And the Warriors knocked on the door, and the Bulldogs came up and shut the door right on their face as they come up with a big fumble recovery.
Well, it was an ideal drive for the Cleveland Warriors, but right here it's Greg Dixon that's going to do the damage. The first turnover of the ball game is going to go to the Bulldogs, and it's number 87, Gregory Dixon, from the Wilson Junior High, that comes up with the first turnover and turns the Warriors away.
So now the 97th Street Bulldogs with the offense led by Charlie Spikes, Jermaine Johnson and Michael Jackson as your receivers, Darnell Hill and Khalid Tutt in the backfield. The offensive line, David Fortson, Walter Spikes, Tony Mills at center, Julian Binns, David Morgan, and George Freeman. The defense for the Warriors coming out with a 4-3 defense. Quincy Porter, Graham, Cargyle, and Sankey the front four. Holloman, Harrell, and Davis are your linebackers. Smith and Morrow are the corners, and your safeties are Barganer and Michael Wynn. First and 10, ball spotted at the 5-yard line. We'll go with a full house backfield once again. We've got a flag before the play, and that could be an offsides, as the Warriors look pretty content with the call, but now the Bulldogs are pretty happy themselves. Dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct against the Warriors, and that's going to be a big 15-yard penalty. And the hole that the Bulldogs were in, having the ball deep on their own end of the field, was just, they were given some help, and given help by the Warriors and getting out of that hole. They will have the ball at the 20-yard line and the first down. 52 seconds to go, first quarter. No score in this Bantamweight Championship. Inside handoff, second man through. That is number 34, Darnell Hill. Left side, picks up about 2 yards on the play. Making a stop is Carl Davis. So we'll see if either team will go to the air in this contest. Right now it's been the running game. We're down to 25 seconds and the clock rolling in this first quarter. And what we've been able to see is that the Warriors in this first quarter took control of the football and moved down, but did not get anywhere, as we are down to 10 seconds in the quarter. Darnell Hill and Tutt are in the backfield. It's a full house backfield, so both teams going with full house backfields. Handoff. First man through. That is number 31. And that is Khalid Tutt, and that'll end the first quarter of play with no score. The stop made by number 98, Jerome Acey. So we played a quarter of football here at Rhodes High School in the Bantamweight Championship game, and we are at no score between the Bulldogs and the Warriors.
Well, Adam, as we're at the second quarter break, we take a look. We talk about some of the keys to the game: low scoring, defense, mental mistakes. Both sides have created. On one hand, the Bulldogs, they've jumped off sides. They also did one when it was first and goal, moving it to the 5. But the Cleveland Warriors probably made one of the biggest mistakes right here as we look at it. It was Gregory Dixon from the East 97th Street Bulldogs that's going to come up and make a big recovery. Right after first and goal, you can see here, Gregory Dixon, first turnover of the game went to the Bulldogs.
And that was an 11-play drive that got stopped at the 5-yard line, and that is where the center and quarterback really have to have their act together. The ball is going to be wet and slippery, and that's where the center has to be real key in getting the football on the snap to his quarterback. Getting ready for this second quarter of action. That 11-play drive ending with a fumble, that could give a big difference in the ball game so far early on. One turnover in this contest. The Warriors on defense, going with that 4-3 alignment. But for the Bulldogs, they've come out with their own full house backfield. Nothing fancy. It's just straight up the gut, smash mouth football. Number 36 will be in the backfield. That's Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson along with Hill and Tutt under the quarterback of Charles Spikes. Long count under center. The handoff is to Tutt. Tutt breaks the tackle over the 30-yard line. Khalid Tutt just putting his head down. On the stop is Damian Smith-Russell. And they are quick coming off the football, off that snap. They are starting to drive at the line of scrimmage.
Well, we talked early in the game about the Cleveland Warriors. See our crew out there slipping and sliding.
Trying to keep their balance on the sidelines, which is good enough to make some mud pie. First down and 10, ball spotted at the 30-yard line. Full house backfield once again. This one's going to be good old-fashioned smash mouth football. Run it down everybody's throat. Handoff, first man through. That's number 34, Darnell Hill. He'll stop at the line of scrimmage at the 30. May have picked up about a half a yard on the play. Again, Jonathan Harrell making the stop.
We watched the Bulldogs in the playoffs. Darnell Hill, real tough player. 9th grader over at John Hay.
There you see some of the crowd huddled up. It is a cold one. Had the rain, the snow, the wind. Now all we need is a little bit of sunshine. Second down and 10 for the Bulldogs. Full house backfield. Handoff, second man through. And the second man through will lose about a half yard on the play. Coming in with the tackle.
Well, we've talked about the defense of the Cleveland Warriors, and you keep bringing it up, but they seem always to respond to challenges. Again, it was number 78.
Michael Dennis making the stop. And, well, let's see. We had rain in the first game, and I believe I am starting to see some snowflakes falling. And I think that's all the camera crew wanted to hear. Third down and 11, a loss of 1 on the play. Darnell Hill will be split wide to the right-hand side. Backs are split in the backfield under the center of Charlie Spikes. Spikes on the rollout to the right side, breaks away a tackle, looks, fires, has a man open. That's number 38, and it is incomplete as he had the pass intended for number 38. That was Robert Swift on a little swing pass.
And coverage was Jason Holloman. But when you looked at that play, Adam, he threw it right where you're supposed to throw it, in your hands. And Robert Swift, I'm sure, is going to look back and say, oh, how did I do this? He rolls right away from the pressure. We call that the old duck pass, and it comes right in his hands, Adam. That's a catchable ball. You got to make that catch.
Looks like he was looking downfield before he wanted to catch the football. Fourth down and 11 yards. As The Bulldogs getting ready in punt formation. Good snap. The kick is away, and it is taken up by number 20, and that is Barganer. Barganer to the near side at the 30-yard line, and he's going to be taken out of bounds. It's a good return there by Barganer. On the stop, Darnell Hill. Pickup of 15 yards on the run.
We'll give him a lot of credit, number one, just to get the ball off. We're going to take a look at the first special teams play in the punt game. And you can see he punts it about 25 yards downfield, a little slide, and he comes to the outside. Cleveland Warriors looking for someone to block, and you're going to see the toughness of Darnell Hill. He actually gets hit here, but his penetration makes the tackle as he knocks him out of bounds.
Well, the Warriors with the football. First time they had the ball, they had an 11-play drive that was stopped after the fumble. In the backfield, Jonathan Harrell along with James Barganer. In the split backfield, Barganer fumble once again, and it's picking up by the Bulldogs, and that's number 72. And picking up is David Morgan. A mishandle of the snap, and 2 turnovers have really cost the Warriors.
Well, we look about offense and we talk about the Cleveland Warriors. They've been their worst enemy. Right here, he gives it to him, but he didn't grab the football, and give number 72 credit.
I think on that play there, it looked like he didn't realize he was getting the football because he was going to make a block at the line of scrimmage. He thought he was the lead block instead of getting the lead run. And that is a big, big turnover because they were very deep in the territory of the Bulldogs. Oh, the snow's starting to fall here. Everybody, start your Christmas shopping. 'Tis the season. 1st and 10, ball spotted at the 35-yard line. We've got movement, and the Warriors were going right through the line of scrimmage on that one. And it's going to go against the Bulldogs, and that'll push them back. Tim, in all your years of covering and doing the championship games, have you ever seen weather like this?
No. In all the years, I've never seen it. I was talking to the director of the Muni Football League, Joe Weiss. All we need is one more good day. And we remembered one year where we played at John Marsh. It was great. The next day we woke up, there was about 6 inches of snow. We said, we need one more. I'll never say that to Joe ever again. We've had it all. Snow, rain, wind, cold.
Everything. Well, the Bulldogs have the football. Number 38, that is Robert Swift. He split wide to the right. Another flag thrown. And that'll probably be on the offense. What do we have? Dead ball foul. As the team knows, they're going to back up, and they push the referee out of the way. Dead ball foul, offsides against the Bulldogs, and that'll push them back, and that is another penalty that's going to be costly in the long run. Because if they are forced to punt, the Warriors will have very good field position. So now it is a 1st down and a bus ride. Actually, a 1st down and 20. They need to get out to the 44-yard line for a 1st down. Backs are split in the backfield. Swift is to the far side. The handoff goes to number 34, and that is Darnell Hill, who breaks a tackle at the 30-yard line and quickly picks up the 5 yards back. And they still need a long way to go, but instead of a 2nd and long, it is a 2nd and 15. Jonathan Harrell making the stop for the Warriors.
Well, you can see that the Cleveland Bulldogs are going to run here to the outside. They've been going inside all day, but this time they get out to the outside. And again, no blocking was there for him, but Darnell Hill picks up about 5 yards just on pure strength and running ability.
Checking into the ball game for the Warriors, number 78. That is Michael Dennis. 2nd down and 15 for the Bulldogs. Swift is split to the right. Hill and Tutt are in the backfield. David Fortson will now be the tackle to the right side. They go strong right side, and Charlie Spike is rolling on the near side, looking to throw. Breaks out of one tackle. No, he's going to go down for a sack, and coming up with a big sack is number 50, and that is Dizzard.
Well, we talk about the defense of the Cleveland Warriors. We saw it there. Jamal Dizzard, number 50, comes up with the first sack. Let's take a look at it at home. Talk about, here he rolls out the opposite direction this time. He's going to come to you, and you can see he hesitates. Now he decides there's too much pressure, and that's enough time for Jamal Dizzard, a 9th grader at John F. Kennedy, come up with the first sack here today in the Bantamweight Championship game.
Good pursuit there by Dizzard, shutting off the block on the far side of the field and then hunting and pursuing the quarterback Spikes. 3rd down and 20, a loss of 5 on the play. Full house backfield for the Bulldogs. Inside handoff, no. Spikes on a little roll, is trying to throw the ball, and he's going to be intercepted. And it is intercepted by number 22. That's Damian Smith-Russell, who brings it down to the 20-yard line. And Charlie Spikes wanted to throw the ball, had no control of the football. And Smith-Russell comes up with the big INT as we go to the replay.
Well, we talk about turnovers. I don't know what we're going to call this. I don't think it's a duck. It might be the jump shot. But you see here, he kind of pitches it straight up in the air. And there he is, number 22, Damian Smith-Russell with the first turnover for the Cleveland Warriors.
Now the Warriors have the ball at the 20-yard line in the red zone, full house backfield. They'll go with Barganer, Reed, and Harrell, and the ball goes to the quarterback. That's Michael Wynn to the near far side of the field, and he's brought down at the 15-yard line. In on the stop is Darnell Hill, as they pick up 5 yards on the play. Under 2 minutes to go, first half of action.
Well, this is going to tell us a lot about the Bulldogs defense. They're on the 15-yard line. We're just under 2 minutes to go here in the first half, and they're basically moved into an area of the field where it isn't as treacherous as they've been playing in. So this will tell us how real tough this defense is for the East 97th Street Bulldogs.
Salim is split wide to the left. Full house backfield behind the quarterback of Michael Wynn. Fumble once again, and what do we have? And it's going to go the Bulldogs' way. Another fumble at the center snap, and boy, talk about the turnovers really hurting, especially the Warriors getting deep in the Bulldog territory, coming up with another fumble.
Well, I'm sure Coach Will Brooks will be talking about this at halftime. They've been shooting themselves in the foot all day, and right here you can see it's another turnover, and it was the nose tackle, Adam.
Darnell Hill coming up with the fumble recovery and thwarts another drive, as you see some of the players from the Warriors trying to warm up, get those hands dry. And now the Bulldogs with the football. 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. Spikes is the quarterback. Go full house backfield once again. Spikes has the cleanest uniform out on the field, and what do we have? Dead ball foul. Delay a game. Bring them back 5. And a player's best friend in this ball game will be the kerosene heaters down on the field. 1st and 15. What do we have? Timeout is called by the Warriors as they burn a timeout with 56 seconds to go in the first half. No score in this contest. Really, you look at it, the first quarter was dominated by the Warriors, especially on that 11-play drive where they fumbled the ball at the 5, and then in the second quarter, it's been a battle of hot potato and nobody wanting to hold the football.
Well, when you go back and you look at the playoff action, one of the things that the coach has done here, he did before. He sees his team has got a defensive stand they can make and maybe pick up a safety. And I'm sure right now what Coach Brooks is saying, hey, let's push everything back. Let's see if we can get them back and pick up 2 points. And I'm sure I would look for the Warriors to come with everything at them.
Especially on the first down, 1st and 15. Why not? Just keep pushing them. So let's see what the Bulldogs can do on offense. Going at that full house backfield. And Tutt and Darnell Hill are also in the backfield. Snap fumble at the line of scrimmage. And let's see what we've got. Looks like the Bulldogs may have recovered. And they retain possession, so heads up play there by the quarterback, Charles Spikes. And that's, I think, the fourth. Jonathan Harrell making the stop, trying to get the football. Fumble snap once again, and this is not boding well for the centers in this game, as Dizzard in on the play. And what are we going to have now? Another timeout called by the Warriors with a third down situation.
Well, we talked about defense. You can see that what Coach Brooks has done is he's actually shot gaps. He's put a guy over the center plus two guys in the gap trying to create a fumble on the snap.
And in the last three snaps in a row have been fumbled.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at this kind of weather and the conditions. The Cleveland Warriors started out this football game and they actually moved the ball at will. It was a game plan that every coach hopes for, but what's happened is they've kind of killed every drive that they've had themselves by turning over the football.
That they have, especially deep in their Bulldog territory in the first quarter, fumbling at the 5, and then it's been a hot potato as each team has been fumbling at the snap of center. So now the Bulldogs with a third down, and we'll call it 17 that they need to go in this second quarter. 17 seconds to go in the half. Full house backfield for the East 97th Street Bulldogs. And the quarterback keeper gets a yard, if that. And they're going to say his forward progress was stopped as the ball was stripped away by number 20. And 1 second to go, and that'll be it for the first half of action here in this Bantamweight Championship. No score between the Bulldogs and the Warriors as both teams head into the locker rooms scoreless in this Bantamweight Championship here on CLV TV 35 Sports. And welcome back to second half action in this Bantam Championship game between the East 97th Street Bulldogs and the Cleveland Warriors. No score in the game, but Tim, turnovers the key in this ball game.
Well, when we talked to both coaches, we talked about turnovers, we talked about being focused on penalties. Right here, we're going to take a look at a replay. There's one of the biggest first turnovers of the game where Gregory Dixon, Cleveland Warriors, first and goal on the 4. Then we also had some turnovers as far as interceptions. Both teams having an interception. We can see right now, looking at the field, it's not getting any better. The snow is here, Adam, so turnovers is obviously going to play a role here in the second half.
First team to score will win this ball game. Yardage in this first half for the Cleveland Warriors, 44 yards total offense, all coming on the ground, 16 carries for 44 yards. 3 first downs in the contest, 1 quarterback sack, 3 turnovers for the Bulldogs of the East 97th Street Bulldogs. 5 yards on 10 carries, 5 total yards. That is the key of this game. The Bulldogs really, and the penalties, 5 for 25 yards. The Bulldogs need to get some type of offense mounted if they want to try to score in this ballgame, because the Warriors have had the football. They've moved the football. Turnovers have just shot them, turnovers have killed them in the game. They get real close and they turn the ball over. As you see the snow starting to fall here at Rhodes High School. We had rain for the Bantam for the Pee Wee Championship, a torrential downpour, and now we've got the snowflakes falling here as the Warriors getting ready to kick off in this contest. And we've seen a little bit of everything in this game. Both teams really going out smash mouth type football, going with the running game. Getting ready to kick off for the Cleveland Warriors is number 50, Joval Dizzard. And Dizzard will be at his 40-yard line. The referees, I believe, are set. I don't think they wanted to come back out of the locker room because it is pretty nippy outside. Referees are set. They've got their winter gachis on. And I think everybody else is set as the snow continues to fall here at Rhodes High School. No score in this Bantamweight Championship game. Dizzard is getting the okay from the referee. Sidelines are set. And now we are getting ready for this second half action of this championship game on CLV TV35. Adam Mendoza along with Tim Wells bringing you the action of this contest today. 3 back to receive, and Mother Nature gets the first kickoff and blows the ball off the tee, and it looks like they're gonna force Dizzard to hold the football. No, probably one more time. See if Mother Nature will not blow the ball off the tee. Looks like they're going to try for a short kick. It's going to be at the 20, and it's going to roll, and number 38 is going to pick it up. That's Robert Swift. Swift at his 15 to the 20 to the 25. Breaks the tackle at the 30 to the 40-yard line. He's got some room. He's got a block in midfield down to the 45. Cuts to the inside to the 40 to the 30 to the 20. He's going to go all the way. 10-5. Touchdown Swift, and there are no flags on the play. Touchdown by the Bulldogs on the run by Swift, who picked it up at the 15-yard line. A run of 85 yards.
Well, Adam, when we talked about the defenses and everything else, we never thought about this kind of a play. It was special teams right here on kickoff, and you can see here that the Bulldogs are formed a wedge. Again, it's Robert Smith. You can see great tackle there by Darnell Hill. He cuts to the outside, and you can see he breaks one tackle. There's another block, and it's nothing but speed. He's got one more block to pick up right here about midfield. And you can see the Bulldogs right here. Missed tackle by the Warriors, number 33. And from the 30-yard line in, it's nothing but speed and an escort by the Bulldog players.
George Freeman was the last man that had an opportunity to get Swift, and Swift picked up the ball at the 14-yard line, and that goes for a run of 86 yards. Great run now as the Bulldogs lead it 6-0 on the opening play of this third quarter on the special teams. And that makes that could prove to be the difference, Tim, in this contest.
Well, one of the things Coach Will Brooks told me, I said, what's your concern? He says, hey, we don't want to come from behind. And that's exactly what they're now going to have to do to win the Bantamweight Championship here at James Ford Rhodes High School.
Fumble on the snap. The extra point will not count, but right now the Bulldogs will not care because they get on the board after the 86-yard run by Swift. And that was just Robert Swift. Fine run, and you could tell at the end of that run he was laboring and getting tired running 86 yards.
Well, Adam, you know, you talked about earlier today in the Pee Wee game, the mud, the cold takes its toll. And it was a special teams play with the Bulldogs that right now has given us our only score. And right now the Cleveland Warriors are going to have to find a way to put a drive together and not turn over the football. They've shown the ability to move the football, but they have to hang on to it.
And the thing is, the Warriors move the football, like you said, hang on to the football, especially when they get it deep into the end of the Bulldogs. As number 34 for the Bulldogs, Darnell Hill, will get ready to kick off. Back to receive is Michael Wynn. He's the deep man. Number 27, Ahmed Salim, as well as James Barganer are the up men. Michael Wynn hoping to get the ball. Some of the up men, number 44, that's Carl Davis right in the middle. As number 90 gets ready to tee it off, Michael Jackson approaches the football. This one's going to be taken right up the middle, and it's going to be taken by number 44. That's Carl Davis, who cuts to the near side, and he is leveled down. Beautiful hit there by Khalid Tutt. Tutt just squared his shoulders and drove him down to the ground.
Well, we saw there when the coach told us about someone that likes to go out and hit somebody, make a tackle. Khalil Tutt, number 31 of the Bulldogs, comes out here in the second half. It looks like he's on a mission. We'll take a look at it at home. Again, this is right after the kickoff by the Bulldogs, and look at him up, wham! Good job, Khalil Tutt. Shoulder driven, good tackle.
First and 10, ball spotted at the 46-yard line, full house, backfield fumble, snap, and Wynn comes up with the football, and he may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Another bad snap, and number 99, Butler, in on the tackle. And let's see how many times the center and quarterback misconnect. And there you see Wynn telling his center, hey, you got to get the ball to me on the snap.
See a little momentum change here. Bulldogs coming out, playing tough.
Reed, Davis, and Barganer in the backfield. Fumble snap, rolling, and it's picked up by Barganer. And Barganer's at the 45. In on the stop, number 87. That is Gregory Dixon. And I think the quarterback and the running backs are going to have to do a little talking in the huddling and say, hey, I give you the football, hang on to it. So that's the second miscue we've had on this drive. And the Warriors have been fortunate to come up with the football. 7 minutes to go. Third quarter of action here in the Bantamweight Championship after the Ben Swift touchdown on the kickoff return to start the third quarter. The Warriors come out, full house backfield with Anthony Reed, Harrell, and Davis. The handoff, no, it's Wynn keeping it on the near side, gets out to midfield, driven out of bounds and given a little bit of mud as he tastes some mud from Khalid Tutt's hit.
Well, we saw Khalil Tutt make the first big tackle, hard hit in the ball game here in the second half. This time we'll see him again from the line of scrimmage. You can see, I don't know if he was actually given a fake here. They say, let's keep it in his hands. Puts his shoulder down. Khalil Tutt and a host of the East 97th Street Bulldogs on the tackle.
4th down and 7 for the Warriors. They need to get to the 44-yard line. Double tight end set, full house backfield. Long count, and we're going to have motion, and that is going to go against the Warriors, and that was number 5, Raymond Robinson, who jumped up out of position at the line of scrimmage on the long snap count.
Well, you see it right there, right at the top of your screen. Jumped up, didn't know the snap count. Again, we talked about mental mistakes, staying focused. Both coaches talked about it before the football game.
And so that will force a 4th down, and now it's 12 yards to go. And the Warriors are going to go for it. Interesting move. Still early on in the game in this third quarter. Michael Wynn, number 1, the quarterback, on a 7-step drop. Now he's going to roll to the far side of the field. He better get it off, and he's going to be hit hard. And coming up with the hit is Tutt. Tutt nailed him for about a 15-yard loss, and that is going to be an advantage for the Bulldogs as we go to the replay on this.
Well, you talk about physical football, tough football. Khalil Tutt, number 31, the second half. He's come out here on a mission. You'll see it right here at home. He'll come up here and right there, Khalil Tutt picks up a sack for the Bulldogs.
And Tutt blew away the block of Jason Holloman on that right side. The left tackle just came in and pushed him off to the side and went for the sack. So with 4:55, the Bulldogs have the football and the first down. The ball is spotted at the 34-yard line. I formation for the Bulldogs. Charles Spikes, the quarterback, hands it off. Second man through. That is Tutt, and he'll gain about maybe a half yard on the play. In on the stop, number 50, Dizzard. 4:28 to go, third quarter. It is a mix of rain and snow, and it's a driving wind. And if you do not have any type of face covering, it's going to sting. And you can see the field here at Rhodes High School has just taken a pounding, especially with all the rain that we've had today. Full house backfield, 4 minutes to go, third quarter of action. Spikes, the quarterback, Three in the backfield. Everybody started moving at the line before the snap of center, and that'll go against the Bulldogs, pushing back 5 yards. And it'll be a 2nd down and 15 yard to go. As the referee tries to find a dry spot.
You're looking at Dan Walunas and Meredith Baker, two of the veteran officials of the Muni Football League. They've done an outstanding job here today.
2nd down and 15. Blitz is on. And off that first man through. That is Tutt, and Tutt gets out to the 35-yard line. Or make that Darnell Hill. Darnell Hill has that body that looks like Herschel Walker James Bargainer making the stop. As we've got 3:20 to go, 3rd quarter. Referee and the officials trying to keep the football dry and somewhat clean, so the quarterback, if he tries to throw, has an opportunity to throw the football.
Adam, we've watched Tutt on defense, but on offense, he's the 5th leading scorer in this league. During the season, scored 7 touchdowns for the Bulldogs.
Power I formation. 3 in the backfield, straight up. 2nd man through. That's Darnell Hill. He's going to go nowhere. He's going to lose 5 yards at the 40-yard line as Michael Dennis comes up with the stop.
And we got to give our stat crew done a tremendous job here. Mr. Dennis Hill and Eric Fredmonsky, along with our spotter, Rick Dietrich. Many may know Rick from his days at West Tech Field and preparing the fields, getting them ready. I know, Rick, this would have to be one of those tougher jobs.
There you saw the game clock. We're down to 2:15 in the 3rd quarter as the Bulldogs really have gone back. Inside handoff, number 87. That is Gregory Dixon, and he'll pick up 5 yards before Bargainer makes the stop. Back to the original line of scrimmage, and that'll turn the ball over to the Bulldogs, or to the Warriors. And so the Warriors on offense down 6-0. Looking to get something as we go to the replay on that play, as they pick up 5 yards on the run.
Well, we've talked about the Warriors defense all day, and they've basically been there. Right here, you'll see they'll come up with a big stop. James Bargainer and also number 22, Damian Smith-Russell on the tackle. Big stop, and then the Warriors will take over, Adam.
Good tackle by Bargainer. Now the Warriors with the football, down 6-0 with 1:35 to go. Inside handoff, about a yard gained by the running back. And it's going to get to the point, Tim, where we just have to try to look for colors out on that field to see if we can find out who's who.
Well, we've got word on this one, and I don't know how Rick can tell us because of the mud, but Gregory Dixon on the tackle. See the official stepping in.
Both teams wanting that football. It's a valued possession. Just under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter. And the Bulldogs lead it 6-0. They come out to the line of scrimmage. Full house backfield. Reed, Harrell, and Bargainer. That's the 3 mainstays. They'll have number 7. That is William Battle to the far side of the field. The pitch, fumble, and it's Bulldog football. And coming up with the pigskin is number 25. That is Wendell Shockley. So Shockley comes up with another turnover. And Tim, as we look on the replay, just a bad handoff and the cold hands making the difference.
Yeah, you can see it right here, and the Bulldogs were right there. Wendell Shockley, 9th grader from Collinwood, comes up with the turnover.
That time, bad pitch. It was high. You want to get it chest high to him. And there you see the score, 6-0. The Bulldogs with the football again on the turnover. And that is making a very big difference in this contest. 23 seconds to go in the quarter. Full house backfield for the Bulldogs in this Bantamweight Championship. Spikes the quarterback, fumble, and I think he got the football. Seven seconds to go, and that should be it for this third quarter of play. We're going to march it the other way. So we've played 3 quarters of football here at Rhodes High School in the Bantamweight Championship game, and it is the East 97th Street Bulldogs 6 and the Cleveland Warriors nothing. As we get ready for this fourth quarter. And Tim, interesting statistic, we've been talking about turnovers.
Well, you know, right now I'm sure that if Coach Brooks knew he was down 6-0, they fumbled the ball 4 times, plus had an interception, he'd feel pretty good. And that's exactly where they're at. But right now the Cleveland Warriors on offense are going to have to step up here in the fourth quarter. They're 9 minutes away. And from their Bantamweight Championship, East 97th Street Bulldogs, on the other hand, the big play, the kickoff return. That's been the difference.
Yeah, that's been the difference. Both offenses really haven't been able to mount up any type of offense, but it has been the play of special teams that made the difference in this ball game by Swift, who came up with the big kickoff return for the touchdown. So with
Adam, while we're waiting for the teams to line up, just for our viewers, they're watching the Bantamweight Championship. These are 13 and 14-year-olds with a weight limit of 143 pounds. Right currently, there were 18 teams that were in the league. 461 players actually participated. And we really need to take this moment also to send a special tribute to the cheerleaders. Many of them that have been involved this year, they're going to have their competition in the coming weeks for cheerleading competition, but there's been 32 teams involving over 300 girls that are actually been out here cheering the boys on, and the many parental support and the volunteer coaches. Our hats must go off to them.
Oh, that is true. That's all part of the Muni Football League as the clock is set and ready to go for this fourth quarter of action. The Bulldogs with the football and the 6-0 lead over the Warriors. They'll have the ball at the 34-yard line. Full house backfield. Charles Spikes. Make that Abe Pruitt now as the quarterback for the Bulldogs. Long count, trying to draw the Warriors offside. Long count again. Now gets the snap, handoff, first man through. Barrels through to about the 30-yard line. And it looks like that was Pruitt or Darnell Hill who had the football. Jonathan Harrell
came up with the tackle. He ran right at him. Right up the middle at the middle linebacker. Picked up 3 yards.
Ball spotted just shy of the 30-yard line. Bulldogs with the football as the rain mixed with snow continues to fall here at Rhodes High School. 8:30 to go in this final quarter. The Bulldogs on the move. Handoff, first man through at the line of scrimmage. Breaks through and picks up about 2 yards to about the 28.
Steve Cargile on the tackle. Again, Steve, honor roll student, citizenship. Very mature and unselfish player, the coach told us. Also a hard hitter.
And in this weather, if you can lay in a good hit, that'll really rattle your opponent.
Right there you're looking at the offensive coordinator from the Cleveland Warriors, Pete Cranford.
4th down and 5 for the Bulldogs. They need to get to the 24 for the first down on the full house backfield. Inside handoff, no, it's the quarterback keeper, and he's going to go down for a 5-yard loss as he's brought down by AC as the quarterback, number 17, Abe Pruitt, tried to run outside and could go nowhere. And now the Warriors have a shot at it with 7:28 to go in the game. And they're down by 6. really the field and the weather has made the playing conditions very difficult, and you can tell in these young men that it's been hard to get the football. Their movement has been slowed down. I think this is the coldest these young kids have played in.
You see the Cleveland Warriors bring out a dry football. Adam, you being the offensive coordinator, Pete Cranford, you know your team has been struggling all day. You've been able to move it, but you can't hang on to it. What do you do?
Try for a swing pass. I'd go for a pass right on the outside. Do it. They've got single man coverage. Try for the pass instead of trying to run it up the gut, but you got to have the quarterback hold on to the football. And that is Michael Wynn, who breaks away from one tackle, but he's going to go down for a loss of 7 yards as number 99, Kenny Butler, making the stop as we'll get another look at it.
Well, you know, you can't move anywhere without the snap. And right here, this time he gets it, but he drops the football. Give him credit, he stayed with it, picks it up, and he tries to make a play out of it, but Kenny Butler was right there making the tackle.
And you can see when the players were trying to make a stop, they just kept sliding. That's how bad the field conditions are. If you can get just a halfway decent footing and be able to really start out of the blocks decently, you could move the football. Split in the backfield. Inside handoff. We've got another fumble, and I think the Warriors come up with the football. As they unpile the cover. Number 20 for the Bulldogs. Maybe it's number 30, Gordon, here on the replay.
Take a look at it again. Now this time, Adam, it looked like he had it, and it actually faked it one way and went to give it to the other guy, but he had it up too high near the shoulder pad area.
3rd down and 15. They try a counter. They go to the outside. That's number 44. That is Carl Davis, and he's brought down by Tutt. Or make that Darnell Hill and Tutt. And with 5:22 to go, it'll force a 4th and 12. Pickup of 3 yards on the play. There you see the offense of the Warriors, hoping that they can pick up 12 yards for a much-needed 1st down. So with a 4th and 12, ball spotted at the 22-yard line. They're going to load the right side, and he is just hit in the backfield, and coming in with the hit, we can see his number. Looks like number 34. It looks like Darnell Hill. Number 87, Gregory Dixon. He just came in, shot the gap, and he hit Wynn right in the backfield. Michael Wynn had no chance on that play. Dixon, that's who the number is. We got a glimpse,
Dixon,
a glimpse of his jersey. The red faintly was showing through the mud.
Well, you know, this is a big contrast from the early series of the game where the Warriors controlled the line. Right now, the defensive line of the Bulldogs were penetrating the gaps, as you mentioned. Now we'll see what they can do here on offense.
1st and 10. Spikes is back in as the quarterback. Backs are split in the backfield. Inside handoff and the counter, and Darnell Hill is brought down. And Darnell Hill is brought down by number 50. They're going to say he fumbled the football, and it's going to go Warrior way. So a turnabout.
This time it was Jason Holloman of the Cleveland Warriors comes up with a big turnover. This might be the spark they were looking for. He comes up, big tackle, and a turnover. You can see Holloman on the hit, but it looks like it was 56 that actually came up with the football, Jason Holloman.
So what happened is that the running back, Darnell Hill, never got control of the football and lost it. And now the Warriors with another gift, but they've got 4 minutes to move the football. In the last couple of drives, they have not moved the football whatsoever. Full house backfield, handoff. 2nd man through. That is number 20, Bargainer. Bargainer to the right side, breaks the tackle, cuts to the outside part of the field, and out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
And it was Jamal Gordon, number 30, that actually knocked him out of bounds. And Adam, you mentioned about a little swing pass to the outside. That's the first time we've seen the Cleveland Warriors actually get to the outside, going to the right here in the second half. First half they made a big run, but also was a penalty that pushed them back.
3 in the backfield. And we're going to have an offsides against the defense. And that'll make a big difference with the 2nd and 6. Will now force a 2nd and 1. Dixon jumping off sides as we go to the replay.
Coach's nightmare, mental mistakes. You're right there at the football. You always tell your players, watch the football.
Jumping off sides on that. And now it is a 2nd down and 1. Full house backfield. Wynn hands it off. No, he's going to keep it himself. He's got the 1st down and more as he gets out to the 32-yard line. Brought down by number 70. That is Julian Benz, as well as Jamal Gordon. So there on the quarterback keeper by Wynn. Picks up the 1st down. And really, this is the first time in the last couple of series, Tim, that we've seen the Warriors move the football.
Well, you can see it right here. He's going to run to the outside. And again, number 40 with a good block. And also, they've been able to run to the right successfully most of the day.
1st and 10, fumble on the snap, and it's still loose at the 20, still loose at the 15, and what are we going to have? And it looks like the Bulldogs may have come up with the football.
I haven't seen a signal from the official.
So maybe the Warriors with the football. But they lose a lot of yardage, and they will have the football. It'll be a 3rd down and 23. Right.
Well, we'll look at it here, Adam. Little pigskin, everybody's running for it. You can see right there, it looks like number 52 was after the football, then it gets away, and it looks like actually it was number 20 that came up with the football bargainer.
So now a long situation. Wynn hands it to Bargner, right side, breaks 1 tackle, but does not get back to the 20-yard line. Picks up maybe 2 yards on the play. 2:29 to go as number 99 makes the pickup. Kenny Butler makes the stop. And the wind and the rain continues to fall with 2:20 to go. And the Warriors have one opportunity. They've got about 2 minutes and some change to get downfield, but the offense has stalled. Wynn is going to be forced to throw. Looks, fires, it's going to be a dead duck, and it's picked up by number 87. That is taken by the Bulldogs, who's at the 10 and down to the 5-yard line. I think that's number 34 that came up with it, Darnell Hill. The ball was thrown and it came out like a spiral, and it just shot out, and Darnell Hill came up with the big INT as we go to the replay, and it started off from the throw, Tim.
Well, you can see it right here. Again, he sets back, and you can see the throw. It kind of comes up, and again, you talked about the wind and sail right here in his hands, and he's going to break to the outside. And it's Darnell Hill comes up with another big turnover that the Bulldogs pick up off the Cleveland Warriors.
They'll have the ball at the 6-yard line, some decent ground underneath them, and all they've got to do is to punch it in, and they'll wrap this one up. 1:52 to go. They have the football. The Warriors, 4 fumbles and 1 INT, 5 turnovers in the game. Any coach will tell you, you can't have that and win championships. The Bulldogs on offense will come out with Hill and Tutt in the backfield. Both teams really looking the same in the uniforms. It's just a matter of looking at the helmets. The handoff, first man through. That is Darnell Hill, stopped up at the line of scrimmage. May have gotten a yard on the play. A 1:39 to go. The clock continuing to wind down, and all they got to do is keep it on the ground, and that clock will continue to wind down. There you see it, 6-0. The East 97th Street Bulldogs with the lead as they come up to the line of scrimmage against the Cleveland Warriors. 2nd down and 5, a goal to goal. Mark it actually a 2nd and 7 with a goal to goal situation. As Charles Spikes under center loses the football, and what do we have? Warrior football, so they get one more shot. Boy, this is an early Christmas gift as Dennis comes up with the football.
Well, we talk about turnovers and the results of the turnovers. Right here, we'll take a look at it. Again, you talk about controlling the football. They don't get it back to the quarterback, and it's a fumble, and the Cleveland Warriors will have that one last shot with 1 minute to go here in the Bantamweight Championship game. Go back and you look at the fumbles and what it actually meant. The first fumble was down on downs. The next one was a fumble. The Bulldogs ended a half. The Warriors couldn't make nothing of it. Then they came back, was an interception to the Bulldogs, and they had to punt. So every time the Bulldogs have been able to answer, they'll have to do it here one more time.
40 seconds to go. They need to go the length of the field. The handoff is to Barganer, who has the side of the field. Cuts over at the 20-yard line, and he's down to the 25. But they better call a timeout if they've got one left. And that one was a nice run. The clock will stop with 32 seconds to go. Barganer cutting to the outside. On the stop is Jermaine Johnson. So Barganer put the little jets on. Timeout is called, and see if the Warriors can come up with another big yardage run. So 32 seconds to go in the contest. There you see it. Fourth quarter action, and the Bulldogs leading it 6-0. And the ball will be spotted at the 25-yard line. They still need to go 75 yards after the timeout. And for the Bulldogs, these turnovers have really, I should say the Warriors really, they get to the 5-yard line and it fumble. They get to the 32-yard line, fumble, 20-yard line, fumble, and then they fumbled on downs and then an INT. Turnover fest here at Rhodes.
Well, as the playoffs began, it was in the blistering cold, only fitting to finish in the blistering snow.
And the rain. Full house backfield. Wynn on the near side, and he breaks out of the tackle, and he's got to try to look for some open space, and he's going to cut back to the other side. He's got some room. He's got some blocking. He's at the 20, the 25, the 30, the 40, breaks the tackle, and he gets out of bounds at the 45-yard line, and we've got 15 seconds to go. Wynn cut to the near side, then went all the way back to the other way. Darnell Hill making the stop, and let's take a look at it once again.
Well, we talked about him always going right. This time he goes left. You can see here we talk about missed tackles. We haven't talked too much about it all day, but this was one. And again, with the mud and the conditions, it's going to happen. You can see he breaks 2 more tackles, and then he goes to the right, and you can see that there's some blockers out in front, and it was Darnell Hill that comes up big and knocks him out of bounds.
1st and 10, the ball at the 45-yard line. Barganer on the right side gets out to midfield, and he is down at the 50-yard line, but they better have something. They got to call timeout. They've got 5 seconds left. The ball is down, and do they get the timeout? And that will be it, and the flag is down as the game clock winds down, but was timeout called beforehand? Let us wait and see what the officials can decipher out of the situation. Boy, the last couple of plays by the Warriors, if they could have had that earlier, this would have been a different ball game. So the penalty will go against the Bulldogs, and I believe. So are they going to play one more? Or are they going to say that's it? No, they're going to play one more because the game cannot end on a defensive penalty. So the ball will be spotted at the 35-yard line. Now let's see if they're going to set the clock at anything or they're going to just say this is the last play. So let us wait and see. In this game, we don't have the referee mic'd because of the rain.
So apparently they're going to rule it as an untimed down here, Adam.
So 1 play left. And Michael Wynn, the quarterback. The ball is set at the 30-yard line. And this is it, folks. All or nothing. Bargainer on the right side. Cuts to the near side, and that will be it as the Bulldogs win the Bantam Championship. As Bargainer couldn't get anything to go, and the East 97th Street Bulldogs are the Bantamweight champions here in the Cleveland Muni League.
Well, you're looking at them. The East 97th Street Bulldogs come back and capture. The only loss they suffered was the first game of the season, and they went on undefeated. And they did it in shutout fashion. Only giving up 1 touchdown the rest of the way after that first game.
You can win like a champ, you can also lose like a champ. And that ain't doing nothing but becoming a man. That goes to show you no matter sometimes how hard you put your heart and soul into something, no matter how you try and do all the right things, sometimes it just ain't meant for you. But the truth is, what you did is not get knocked down. But it's what you do after you get back up. Come on, show your parents. Line up. Let's take the
There you heard it. Will Brooks talking about it's more than football. Sometimes you give everything you got and it just wasn't meant to be. And Adam, we saw here today the Warriors with the tremendous effort, but it was turnovers that played the role.
And we're going to have a replay of the winning touchdown in this ball game that made the difference in this contest. And really, it is the first and only one. This was the kickoff by Swift, the kickoff return by Swift. It was really kicked away from him. There you see as he picked it up at the 14-yard line, and he was able to get some blocks. He was able to break a couple of blocks free and then cut to the outside, and then it was all him. As he was just all alone, he had 1 man to beat, missed tackle there, had the escort down the field, and he was able to take it in for pay dirt for the 86-yard kickoff return, and that was the difference in this ball game. 6-0. The Bulldogs win it over the Warriors, and they win the Bantamweight title here in this game. We're going to take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll have more from Rhodes High School here on CLB TV 35.
Hey, Craig.
Welcome back to Rhodes High School, and we've had a very special day. Coach Patterson is the winning coach of the East 97th Street Bulldogs, who captured the Bantamweight Championship today, 6-0. And Coach, you called it during the week when you said we talked about mistakes and turnovers and penalties, but your team really came out to play today.
It was a hard-fought game. I'm kind of hoarse now. That's why they're screaming. Yeah, it was a hard-fought game, and we couldn't get going offensively. So I told Satch in the locker room to just come out and run the opening kickoff back, and we'll beat them.
And tell us a little bit about Jermaine Johnson. First of all, let me ask you, Jermaine, where did the nickname Satch come from?
Well, my friend Khalid, Uncle Bilal had gave it to me during baseball season.
And who's it after? The famous Satchel Paige?
Uh-huh.
Was he as quick as you then?
I
know he could throw a pitch like that. Well, let's take a look. You are the star plug here that came through for the Bulldogs, and we'll look at right now on replay as you come back with the game's most valuable player, Jermaine Johnson. We've been calling Robert Swift all day, but when it came down to actually looking at the replay, it was Jermaine Johnson, and as his friends know him as Satch, it was all speed and a lot of blocking by the Bulldogs. It's one more block, and all it is a brigade of the East 97th Street Bulldogs and a waltz into the end zone for the only score here today, and that's why we crown you today as the game's most valuable player. In the Bantamweight Championship game, we want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
Anything you want to say to Mom and Dad at home?
Hello, Ma. This game for you.
Okay, thanks for being with us. Coach, nice job.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay, you're at Rhodes High School, and you've watched some of the Muni football championships, And we're going to stay right here as we get a chance to bring my partner back on, Adam. But when we look at some of the things that have happened here today, we talked about rain, cold, snow. Adam, super day.
Oh, it's been a super day, and these kids played their hearts out. And under the conditions of the field here and the weather, they played really well, and it was special teams. We had a lot of turnovers in this ball game, but a special teams kickoff run back made the difference in this contest, 6-0. And whatever you can get to win, that's what you need to win a championship.
Hey, you've watched a lot of great football here in Muni football, and we've talked about a lot of things that come together. Adam, it's been many of the league directors. We're going to walk away knowing that this was a very special year, 1995, as two teams were crowned champions. Actually, there were three today, and we're going to honor them right now. The midget championship was won earlier today at Patrick Henry Field by a score of 13-7. In triple overtime, it was the Cleveland Warriors. In the Pee Wee division, we had the Sims Raiders walk away with the victory, 6-0 over the Estabrook Recreation team. And in the bantamweight, we saw the East 97th Street Bulldogs. It was one key play and a lot of speed of Jermaine Johnson that made the difference.
That made the difference, and we've had some fine football that we've seen here on TV35, and it concludes a great season of Muni football.
Well, we want to take this time to say special thanks to the crew. Boy, they were out there in the wind and the snow and the cold. And the cable crew, Henry Picterna, Danny Sevick, Kathy Allen, Jim Gates, and maybe many people that I won't be able to have time to mention. We want to thank you for the great job that you did, including you, Greg, and also our stat crew that we mentioned. But really, 1995 has been very special. The Cleveland Browns Muni Football League will walk away with record numbers, not only on the field, but also in our hearts. As 59 football teams started back in September for the way to come here today. We always end our sayings that our dreams became achievements because everyone worked together for the goodness of our great city and its youth. Thank you for joining us. You've been watching CLV TV 35 and the Muni Football Championships.
We hope you enjoyed today's game. Make sure you head over to our YouTube channel, TV20 Cleveland, and subscribe to get the latest videos. I'm Christian Patterson. Thanks for watching TV20 Classic Sports.